Dear learners, welcome to this session in which we would be discussing different issues in NGO management. And there are many issues related to NGO management. We have already studied the concept, the environment, the strategy aspect of the NGOs which we would be studying, and we now have a overall view of the NGOs and how they function. But then there are certain challenges with the NGOs and there are certain issues with the NGOs which needs to be discussed. The basic issues which NGOs come across are related to the poverty. So it will be poverty and sustainability, and then poverty management. Then there are governance issues, there are leadership issues. So all these will be discussed in the subsequent sessions. There are ethical challenges as well. But in this case, we need to understand that how the NGOs, they have moved from welfare to the development, because basically the NGOs or the voluntary sector or the civil society or the organizations which are working for the society, they have certain issues and they work for the welfare of the society, but the concept has been changing slowly and they are moving to the development of the society as well. So in this session, we would be discussing aid to development, that how they have moved from welfare to development. For this, we need to understand the concept of welfare and development separately, and then we can move. And I'll be showing you some links through which you can just scan through those links, and there you will find that those organizations, how they are providing the welfare and the development services. So when we speak about welfare, as per Wikipedia, it is a type of government support which is intended to ensure that members of a society can meet basic human needs. And the basic human needs include the food and shelter. So this is the Wikipedia definition for welfare. And International Labour Organization has also given a definition which relies more on the social security part. And social security can be in terms of pensions or the social security in other nations. In our country, it is in a different format. We don't have a formal social security structure. So International Labour Organization defines social security as covering the support for those in old age, support for the maintenance of the children, medical treatment, parental and sick leave, unemployment and disability benefits, and support for sufferers of occupational injury. So these are the different aspects of welfare. So welfare can be related to different activities, and they provide the basic healthcare facilities, and the education or the literacy, offering the literacy programs. They provide the vocational training, and they have the public housing activities also. So there are certain NGOs. In fact, the NGOs, they started working with this concept only, and they have been providing the welfare activities. Now, let us now discuss the concept of development. Now, development basically is a process of growth. It includes new information. It includes new event. So there is a different meaning in different areas of study. Now, if we see the biological aspect of development, it is like a fetus developing into a baby, a caterpillar developing into a butterfly. This would be a development process. Now, if we talk about development in terms of NGOs or the voluntary sector, it would be like providing the shelter homes for the old age or the underprivileged, providing education to the girl child. So this would be development. So it is the whole process which includes the information and which includes certain events. So the whole process is of development. Now, There are different types of development, but what kind of development is applicable to the NGO sector, that needs to be discussed. So when we talk about the different types of development, so first kind of development is the social development. Development at the social level. So there are communities, how they grow, how the cultural aspects help them grow, how the values are imbibed, that would be the social development. Then another kind of development is the emotional development. Emotional development basically is inherent in nature and it is related to the individuals. Now in that case, the emotions, the kind of empathy you are developing towards certain situation, kind of sympathy you are developing towards a certain situation. So all these things, they cover the emotional part. Now when we talk about the intellectual or the cognitive development, that includes the intelligence part, that includes the cognitive part. That means a child is taught in such a manner that he or she develops a certain kind of cognitive development, cognitive intelligence. So in that case, the intelligence, there are certain intellectual development aspects where the child may be having such kind of intelligence or specific kind of intelligence inherently, but the cognitive development relates to the environmental factors which affect the upbringing of the child or the intellectual development of the child. The other aspect type of development is the physical development, which is the personality development of an individual. Now in physical development, the individual develops in a certain form. There are physical development in types, because every human being has a different type of a body, different type of structure, different type of movements, different type of expressions. So that comes under the physical development aspect. So these are various kinds of development which need to be studied. In this case, we would be considering the social development aspect, and other kinds of development, they are interrelated to each other. So they would be, the basic level would be the social, and the other development aspects or the different types of developments would be related to each other. So when we talk about the development and in relation to NGOs, how do they work? Now let us see the non-governmental organizations which have a crucial role in the development process, and they work on certain activities like poverty alleviation, the child rights, the caste discriminations, the women rights, the child labor, the rural development, the water and sanitation, the environmental issues, etc. So there are number of developmental activities which the NGOs, they perform. If it is related to poverty alleviation, they specifically work for the organization or for the society where the poor are considered, and they try to uplift their status of living through attitude change, through providing certain kind of basic necessities, etc. So these types of developmental activities are performed by NGOs, and we have been taking through the whole series of sessions. We have been discussing different kinds of NGOs. They are working for different sectors, and we have shared certain videos also related to it. So all of them, they come under the developmental activities. So there are NGOs, the governance NGOs, for example. We have discussed different types of NGOs also. So for example, governance NGOs, so they can be working for the women rights, they can be working for certain issues, right to education, so they would be working for certain issues to work upon it. So this is what is the relationship between development and NGOs. When we talk about the role of NGOs in the development sector, so they have to be very proactive. And specifically in the case of social development, the major work of NGOs has been in the area of education and health. The poverty can be reduced to an extent by providing the right kind of education and by providing the basic health services to the underprivileged. So for example, right to education, there are certain programs where the child has the right to education, and the NGOs are working on those programs. Then there is a program on leprosy education. Baba Amte is known for the leprosy program, the program for the leprosy patients, and he worked extensively, and that organization still is working for the cause of the leprosy patients. Then water and sanitation programs are there. Then there are certain programs which the NGOs they work on, is like eliminating certain diseases. Polio, recently polio was the major major movement kind of a thing to eliminate polio. So the NGOs have really worked on eliminating the polio. So these kind of diseases are being considered, and the NGOs are working in elimination of these diseases, and they come under the development sector. So there are roles to water and sanitation also. Now recently Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is there, where it is a Government of India project, and the NGOs are responding it to very positively, where water and sanitation is the major concept of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, where the cleanliness, the hygiene, and providing the toilets for the underprivileged, this is the major aspect which needs to be considered. So this is again a development program. So the NGOs, they work on these sectors. Now coming to the other part, where we have to consider certain development activities. Now these are certain laws and policies. We had discussed that there are certain micro elements which needs to be assessed before implementing these activities. But these development activities take place only when the NGOs, they work for it, the voluntary sector works for it. So the laws and policies made by the government, they are only done when the NGOs, they take a role of informing the government that certain kind of policies are required. And how do they do it? They do it through the development activities. There is an act called Right to Information Act. There is an act called Right to Education Act. There is an act now recently, there is an act which has been implemented, that is Right to Disability Act. There is Integrated Child Development Scheme. There is Integrated Child Protection Scheme, Manrega, the Juvenile Justice. All these laws and policies, they have been implemented just because of the activities related, the development activities which the NGOs have been performing. Because they have been working in the grounds, they have been working with people around, they have been working with the underprivileged, they have been working with the disabled sector, and that is why they are able to understand what is required and what kind of policy is required for the government to function properly. So these are the development activities. Then there are other activities also, like Nirmal Gram Initiative, and then there is Rashtriya Swasthya Bima Yojana. Then there are certain policies on women development. There are policies related to forest and environment development. There are anti-trafficking policies. There are policies related to the disability sector, which we have discussed. Now in certain couple of slides, we would be discussing, we would be showing you that how these activities have been implemented and how the NGOs, they have been performing certain roles. Let us now see some of the schemes which are done by government, the development activities by the government, and some schemes by the NGOs who are active in the development process. Now if we see these schemes, you'll just see the women empowerment schemes, and you'll see how you can search, and you can just go to the site, and I have just selected the women development schemes of government, and then it goes on to the Ministry of Women and Child Welfare, Child Development of Government of India. And if you see, you'll find various schemes applicable for the organizations to work on it, like Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. You have the guidelines given in that, and what are the prerequisites for applying these schemes, and these schemes have been applied by various NGOs. Then you have that Ujjwala scheme, which is a scheme for prevention of trafficking and rescue, rehabilitation, reintegration of victims of trafficking. So you can see how the government has provided certain guidelines related to it, and these guidelines need to be considered while operating on these procedures. So we have number of schemes which are working on these issues, and now if we just see another aspect where you will find the women, after the women empowerment scheme, you will be just finding some NGOs who are working on these activities. You can see the social welfare organizations, and if we just go to this screen recording, and you will find to this, you'll just work on this site, and I've just typed in women welfare schemes. Now specifically I have taken women welfare schemes. Now these welfare activities are also the development activities. So here the welfare and development, those both come into picture. You can see the topic, it's the Social Welfare Department of Government of Meghalaya, and they have been working on the welfare and development both. That is why this site has been taken. So now if I just pause and you see, there are number of schemes like Swayam Siddha Integrated Women's Empowerment Program, now which works, this scheme aims of empowering women socially and economically. Now if we just go back and scroll up and just see different activities, there you will find that these schemes have been working on different aspects, and these social welfare schemes which have been working in Meghalaya, they have included different sectors of the society, and they have been concentrating on the economic and welfare of the society. So training for self-employment of women is there in Shillong, Jorbal and Tura district. So you can see on the left hand side there are number of, on this side you can see child welfare activities are also there. So there are number of schemes which are being offered by the government also, and the NGOs which are related to these, they also have been listed, and what kind of funding they are getting from the government, they also have been listed, and everything has been in a proper manner. They have been done in a proper manner. Now coming to another NGO, now we have discussed the government schemes and how the NGOs, they are working on these schemes. Now related to this, we'll just take the example of ActionAid India, and in this you will find how the ActionAid is working. The ActionAid organization is working for the development activities. So when we just go to the screen, and you will find the working for the marginalized sector, they are working the best NGO on child and welfare, and you see they are working on Bihar floods. This is a recent example of ActionAid. Now these are all welfare and development schemes included. So if you just go through their website, you will find that there is child's right to childhood, saving the farmers, protecting the earth, promoting the women entrepreneurs, humanitarian response to emergencies, etc. So they have been, well, just clicking child's right to childhood, and you will find that how they are working for the rights of the children, the underprivileged children, and you can just find a policy which we were discussing earlier, the Right to Education Act, which covers 1,100 schools sponsored by ActionAid, and they have been working for specific regional communities as well to provide the benefits or the development activities to the children of that particular community. Now, if we just go to the promoting women entrepreneurs section, you will find that the development activities by ActionAid has been done through youth participation, and in this they have been promoting women entrepreneurs through different activities like sericulture, like corporate farming, and going through cooperatives. So there are success stories. The videos of success stories are also available on their website. So if you just go to their site, you will find how they are promoting women entrepreneurs. So these are development activities, and when we talk about NGOs as aid to development, all these come into picture. So you can just surf the number of NGOs working in the development activities, and you will find that all of them are moving from welfare activities to the development activities. To summarize the whole concept, we have seen the certain recordings, and we have seen the certain links where the development activities have been performed. To summarize the whole concept, we can say that NGOs, they emerged as relief and welfare organization, and slowly they moved from welfare to development. So now the welfare is a part of development for them. Though it is a very difficult task for NGOs to bring about the development, but this can be done through training and capacity building and maintaining certain social relationships to achieve certain goals and objectives. Thank you so much.